Hello there, amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new Doctor Who epic video for today. So for this video, I'm going to be talking about the Matt Smith era. Now, the Matt Smith era is, of course, one of the best eras of modern Doctor Who. In fact, it's my second favourite era of the show, after, of course, the great epic 12th Doctor played by Peter Capaldi, who is, of course, my favourite modern Doctor. Matt Smith's Doctor is my second favourite modern Doctor. So I'm going to show you what I own from the Matt Smith era on DVD and Blu-ray, and then I'm going to talk about what I enjoy from the series. So for Series 5, as you can gather, I own Series 5 Volume 1, Series 5 Volume 2, Series 5 Volume 3, and of course Series 5 Volume 4. So all the volumes from Series 5, as well as the Steelbook DVD, that's limited edition of Series 5, and of course the little big chunky box set of Series 5, as well the re-release of 2014 in the collection as well. So 2 lots of Series 5, well, 4 lots until you get later on. And then, of course, jumping into Series 6, I own quite a bit of Series 6, actually. So I got A Christmas Carol and Series 6 Part 1, as well as Series 6 Part 2. This is the one I had because when I moved, I lost the boxes, and I've managed to get this down for £3 earlier today, as you saw in my early video. As well as having for Series 6 on DVD, we got the chunky box set and, of course, the skinnier version of the box set from Series 6. Then, of course, jumping into one of my personal favourite series of Modern Who, which is Series 7, but it's not my all-time favourite, because my all-time favourite Matt Smith series is, of course, Series 5. But Series 7 is still one of my top 10 for Modern Who. So, everything I own, we have the Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe, and as well as Doctor Who Series 7 Part 1, and, of course, Doctor Who Series 7 Part 2. Then, for DVD, I own the chunky box set. I have lent my friend, who I work with, the skinnier version of the Series 7 box set, so I have lent that to her, so I do have it, so no need to panic saying, why have I got all the others but not Series 7? I do have it, but I've lent it to my friend who basically watched up to Series 7. As well, for DVD, I own Day of the Doctor and, of course, Time of the Doctor. Now, you're probably wondering, is that everything I own? Well, no, because now it's jumping into the Blu-ray side of this run. So, of course, we got the limited edition Steelbook of Series 5 from 2010. And the Series 5 Steelbook that was released not long ago. So yeah, I've got 2 sides of the Steelbooks. As well as, if I can show you carefully, we have the limited edition Silence Head of Series 6, as well as the Steelbook version of Series 6. And then, of course, jumping into Series 7. So I've got limited edition Series 7 Part 1, as you can see here, as well as Doctor Who Series 7 Part 2 in the box set. And I do own Series 7 Part 2 in 2 separate Blu-rays that I paid £1.95 for a couple of months ago. And then I managed to track down the box set. As well, for this series, I also own Series 7 Steelbook. And, of course, the epic 50th anniversary specials. The name, day and time of the Doctor in this little Steelbook, which is absolutely amazing. So what can I say that I really enjoy from the Matt Smith era, my second favourite era of the show? I mean, come on, bow ties are cool. Yes, they are. Bow ties are actually cool. Thank you to the 11th Doctor for making them back into fashion. I have to admit, the 11th Doctor's era for me started off with a pretty big bang. Now, growing up, this is the Doctor from when I was growing up. I mean, growing up when I was at secondary school, this is the Doctor, me and my best friend, Jamie Arrowsmith, just sat down, talk about all of the episodes and what we think of Series 5, Series 6, and unfortunately, we went to college at separate colleges when Series 7 started to air. But we still talk to each other through Facebook, saying, oh, what do you think about this week's episode? I'm like, yeah, classic Daleks, you know, for Series 7, for some of the Daleks. I got some great memories with my best friend Jamie Arrowsmith, because we both are into Doctor Who, and the Matt Smith era is basically one of our favourites. So we both have different opinions on the 10th Doctor era, which I am going to explain in the David Tennant eras. Well, the David Tennant 10th Doctor era, to be honest with you, before I get into his 14th era, which is only 3 specials, but I'm going to class them two separately. So, the 11th Doctor crashed into a young Amelia Pond's garden. Now, Amelia Pond is actually played by Karen Gillan's little cousin. So, really, we have the cousin setting up the role, and then Karen Gillan takes over the role for the rest of Series 5 and 6 and 7 Part 1. Now, of course, during this 11th Doctor's run, we battle against Prisoner Zero. We go and find the Beast down below, the Beast below in that episode. Then, of course, we go to World War II to fight against Daleks, and then as well as Weeping Angels, then some alien fish creatures, as well as going into fighting against a dark side of the Doctor, aka the Dream Lord, then going to the return of the Silurians, as well as then Rory dying, and then basically we go to Vincent van Gogh, The Lodger, and then the epic two-part story, The Pandorica Opens and The Big Bang. I really do enjoy Series 5. It's one of my all-time favourite series. In my ranking series, you're going to find how far I've really put up Series 5, because Series 5, this is the best series of modern Doctor Who. I mean, honestly, I've rewatching it at the moment, and I'm literally on Victory of the Daleks, and I've only watched 2 episodes of Series 5, because I've watched the 11th Hour and The Big Bang once again. Not Big Bang, sorry, The Beast Below, and it's really helped push this series past Series 1. So this is basically now my all-time favourite series of modern Doctor Who. Sorry, Eccleston. Yeah, this series has basically took over Christopher Eccleston's series. That was my all-time favourite once upon a time. But now Series 5's took over since I started rewatching this series. I absolutely love the fact when the Doctor loses his control with his temper against the Daleks as well, for this series as well. And I do like the whole Pandorica Opens and the return of the Silurians. Series 6, it's a kind of a hit and miss bag. I mean, you got Series 6 Part 1, which is phenomenal, because I do love the Silence two-parter. Not so much the Curse of the Black Spot, but we do have the Doctor's wife in there, as well as some other major stories, like, you know, the Ganga two-parter, as well as my all-time favourite 11th Doctor episode, When a Good Man Goes to War. And we see more of the dark side of the 11th Doctor starting to show. I mean, today's not a good day to find out what I have so many. And then the series starts to dip at Series 6 Part 2. After that epic build-up that we had in Series 7 Part 1, Part 2 does let it down quite a bit, especially with the return of the Cybermen. And this is the return of the Cybermen. When I say that, I mean, this is the Cybermen episode we had since the 2008 episode, and this is 2011. And it's not a great episode. Yes, we do have James Corden's return as Craig. It's not brilliant. I mean, the Cybermen are defeated by love because of Craig and Alfie, basically, his child. And, of course, we have that epic finale where we find out that the Doctor is actually hiding inside a shape-shifting robot that Tesselected to fake his own death. And then, of course, we jump into the worst Christmas special in the Matt Smith era, The Doctor, The Widow, and The Wardrobe. Even though I do kind of like the Werewolf 2 kind of setting, I get so mixed up with this special. It's just like, it goes over my head sometimes. I just don't like it. It does have that wicked cool scene, though, when it opens up and you've got the Doctor running in a blown up spaceship. Series 7. Now, this is my second favourite Matt Smith series. Yes, I know, Series 5 is my all-time favourite. Series 7, I have to admit, is my second favourite, followed by Series 6. Because each of these episodes, they are like no two-parters. They're all one single episode. But we have the whole character arc of the Impossible Girl, played by Jenna Coleman, aka Clara Oswin Oswald. So, of course, we jump into Asylum of the Daleks, where this is the 5 episodes with Amy and Rory left. And, of course, we go to Skaro. Then, of course, we go to back to Earth to kidnap Amy and Rory. This is the Daleks, by the way, to go and do a mission for them. I really love the 11th Doctor. Don't be fair to the Daleks when they find me at the planet. This story is one of my favourites. It's in the top 5 Matt Smith stories because of the return of the classic Daleks. If you threw anything with classic Daleks at me, I'm going to love it. Because the classic Daleks are my all-time favourite Daleks. I love the 60s, 70s and the 80s Daleks. And I was so happy to see these return back in 2012 on September the 1st. Second episode, Dinosaurs on the Spaceship, not so good. The Town Called Mercy, that's actually a good one. I do like the Gunslinger. That is a robot. I do like the way how the Doctor loses his temper at Jax. It's great to see the Doctor kind of losing his temper and goes, what his, the Masters, the Daleks think of all the people that died because of my mercy. Honestly, Matt Smith, Brilliant, just pure brilliance, and I love Matt Smith when he does that. The Meisters, the Daleks, think of all the people that died because of my mercy. So brilliant that line is. Then, of course, we jump into the Power 3, and then one of my other favourite episodes from the Matt Smith era, in 4th place, technically, when I get around to doing my favourite Matt Smith episodes. The Angels Take Manhattan, because this story is a paradox in a paradox. And the only way to kill a paradox if Amy already killed themselves by jumping off a roof building, which basically reflects everything back to 2012, and then a weeping angel snatches the pair of them away from the 11th Doctor. And of course, he's there dropping and moaning into the next episode, which is, of course, The Snowman, which is my all-time favourite Matt Smith episode because we got the return of the great intelligence from the 2nd Doctor's era. Yes, I honestly love this Christmas special. I like the way the snowman design, the ice lady. I love the way how the Doctor blows it up and then he literally pulls out the sign and goes, "That's the way to do it." Honestly, I love this episode. Honestly, it's just... oh, this is just one of the best Christmas specials. And I loved rewatching it last month for over Christmas. It was just brilliant. This is my all-time favourite episode from Series 7. And it's my favourite Christmas episode from the 11th Doctor's run. The Bells of St. John, it's a kind of a okay episode. Yes, it does have the return of the Great Intelligence again. And I do like Miss Kissinger. She's a very interesting villain. And the way the Doctor uses her own little spoon robots to basically invert her back into the internet. She's there screaming, saying, "Download me!" Yeah, I do enjoy this episode a little bit. Then, of course, we go to the Rings of Akatent. Very much boring episode, but I do kind of like the long song, as well as the Doctor's speech where he goes, "I walked in the universes where the laws of physics were devised by the mind of a mad man. And I watched universes freeze and creations burn. I have seen things you wouldn't believe. I have lost things you will never understand. And I know things, secrets that must never be spoken. So come on then." I really just love that line. Bang on, just bang on. Then, of course, we jump into Cold War, which is an Ice Warrior story. And it's the return of the Ice Warriors since 1974. And it's one of my favourites. This is genuinely one of my favourites because the return of the Ice Warriors. I really love the Ice Warriors. I love them in The Seas of Death. I love them in Curse of Peladon and Monster of Peladon. The only one I don't really enjoy them is the actual story called Doctor Who, The Ice Warriors. But I really do enjoy them in the return of the revival. And it's a brilliant, brilliant return. And I do highly recommend it. Next is Hyde. That's a kind of a good story to watch on Halloween. I do kind of like that one. Journey Central to TARDIS, not so much. Then, of course, we have... I can't remember what's next. Of Jason the TARDIS. Oh, there, that's it. The Crimson Horror. That's another good one. I do really enjoy the Crimson Horror. The Crimson Horror is one of the best episodes for me. Then, of course, we jump into Nightmare in Silver, which is the second weakest Cyberman story from the Matt Smith era. But I kind of I do like the Simon's design a little bit. They have grown on me over the last couple of years. Then, of course, we jump into the name of the Doctor. So we have the return of the Great Intelligence, kidnapping Faster, Jenny and Strax, basically killing Jenny, trying to get the Doctor to Trenzalore to open up his grave. Or as the Doctor says, "I will not open my tomb." And then, of course, the Great Intelligence jumps into the Doctor's time stream and basically tries to raise the Doctor from time, but Clara jumps into his time stream, saves him, and then we get an introduction to the War Doctor, leading into the 50th anniversary, the Day of the Doctor, which is the return of the Saigons. Yes, Series 7, we've had the return of 3 major villains from Classic Who: the Great Intelligence from the 60s, the Saigons from the 70s, and of course the Ice Warriors from the 60s/70s. I really love this series. And of course, to have David Tennant back as the 10th Doctor, and he's not the actual incarnation that we had in Series 2 or 3. He's the Series 4 variant of the 10th Doctor, which is one of the things I really enjoyed, apart from that last line when he's opened the door saying, "I don't want to go." It's just like, oh my God, that frustrated me a little bit. Because I really don't like that line, because it's not a great line. Tom Baker had a better regeneration line. It's just Tennant going, "I don't want to go." I don't care. The 11th Doctor basically talking to my all-time favourite Doctor, played by Tom Baker, which is why Matt Smith is in 6th place out of my favourite Doctors, and Tom Baker is number 1. I really did enjoy this 50th anniversary. It's brilliant. Then, of course, we jump into the Time of the Doctor, which is another good Christmas special. Not the best Christmas special, because the whole thing with Series 12 and 13 with the whole Timeless Child story arc going on, I hope Russell kind of ties that up into an end, because that's just been left in the air. But I do like the way how the Doctor got extra regenerations and staying on a whole planet, defending it from, you know, from all of his villains for 900 years, which is why the 11th Doctor is one of my favourites. And of course, we see the 11th Doctor grow from a young man from Series 5 into a really old incarnation of the Doctor, and then he gets his regenerations back, reverts back into the younger version, and snaps back into regeneration into the 12th Doctor, aka Peter Capaldi. So that's a little bit of all these stories and everything I really enjoy. I'm going to have to admit, I do prefer the Doctor with Amy and Rory more than Clara. I'm sorry, but they had more chemistry from Series 5, 6 and 7, Part 1. Because even though I am in the middle of rewatching Series 5, and I'm just like, I really do enjoy this series. I really do. I really do enjoy Series 5. It is a cracking, brilliant series, and it's made it into my all-time favourite modern Who series. I also enjoyed the way the Doctor is with Clara. I actually prefer the Doctor with, the 11th Doctor with Clara than the 12th Doctor with Clara. I really did enjoy Clara with the 11th Doctor more than Clara with the 12th Doctor. And I'm sorry to say that, but I really just didn't really connect much with Clara and the 12th Doctor for Series 8 and 9. But then, when you go back and watch Series 7, Part 2, they do click, and I think the regeneration kind of hurt it, even though Clara's there wondering why the Doctor's changed and everything. It's just like, you've just witnessed half of his regenerations in Day of the Doctor, and you've been into his time stream. Grow up. So, yeah, I really do enjoy the Matt Smith era. It's my second favourite era of Doctor Who in general for the modern era. If I was going to say out of all of Doctor Who, it's probably my sixth favourite era, after, of course, the Tom Baker era, the McCoy era, the Troughton era, as well as the Capaldi era. And I'm going to say this, as well as the McGann era for Big Finish. This is my, if I was going to go in TV aspects, this is my fifth favourite era for TV, if I leave out the McGann stuff. But McGann has really grown on me during Big Finish. I really do enjoy the 11th Doctor. My favourite villains of his has got to be the Silence. I mean, they are creepy as hell. They can electrocute you to death. As soon as you look away, you just forget that you met them. This series is just, the Silence is just absolutely spot on. I do like the Weeping Angels with the 11th Doctor. They're so much better than the 10th Doctor. But I have to admit, I do think they got better with Jodie Whittaker in Doctor Who Flux. So, yeah, I really do enjoy some of his Dalek stories. I like Victory of the Daleks more than Assignment of the Daleks, but the Assignment of the Daleks beats it for me because of the return of the classic Daleks. I really love the classic Daleks. The way they're returning, we see the return of the Special Weapons Dalek as well. I really love the Special Weapons Dalek from, you know, from Remembrance. So let me know in the comments, what is your favourite Matt Smith series? Is it series 5, 6 or 7? What is your all-time favourite episode of the 11th Doctor's run? Please do like, subscribe and share, and join for more awesome Doctor Who content. And let me know on your thoughts on the whole Matt Smith era from 2010 to 2013. Thank you for watching, and have a cracking day, you amazing viewers and subscribers.